Shocker now coming in from Birbhum district of West Bengal. Angry over a 5-year-old hitting her child while playing. The child's mother allegedly cut off the 5-year-old's tongue with a blade. Bleeding profusely, the child was rushed to a local government hospital where 8 stitches were given. A police complaint has now been filed against the accused, who is now absconding. Let's go across to Saurav Sanyal for more details. Yet another gruesome case of people taking the law into their own hands. Child's tongue cut off. Do police have any leads, Saurav?
Well, this is a complete shocker of a story that is coming from West Bengal, because one would never imagine that a friendly fight, essentially, between 2 little children, 5-year-olds who were playing on the field, that would have such a gory end. Because what happened in the process is, what bystanders are saying, is that these children were playing, and then, as it generally happens, they ended up fighting. And the mother or one of the children who got beaten up apparently was so angry, was so infuriated that she, literally lost complete control over her senses, and she barged inside the house. And then she came out running with a blade, and she chopped off a portion of the child's tongue. The child was bleeding profusely, a 5-year-old, mind you, Asad. And the child had to be rushed to a local hospital where he's still admitted. He's received 8 stitches on the tongue. The doctors are saying that he continues to be critical, and that he will be under constant monitoring, at least for the time being.
Saurav, we understand the lady who did this is still absconding right now. The police have no idea about her whereabouts.
Well, there is a complaint that has now been registered against this lady. A police complaint was filed. The police initially did not want to register an FIR and said that this matter could best be resolved between 2 families. But then there was a lot of pressure that was built on the police, and then that led finally to the registration of the complaint. But the lady and her husband in question, both of them are absconding. They are nowhere to be seen, and a hunt has now been mounted to nab the accused.
All right, absolute depravity really. In all the last 3 stories we've covered, Saurav, we of course covered a security guard being beaten to death. We of course also covered someone being beaten up on top of a train, and now this. Nilanjana Chakravarti joining us right now. Nilanjana, another story of extreme depravity. A child's tongue was cut off because an argument happened between 2 children, and the mother of that child cut off the child's 5-year-old child's tongue. Now, what's happening exactly?
Yes, exactly. That is what I was telling you, Atar, just now a little while ago, that look at the kind of mindset that we are having in society today. I mean, look at the violence, look at the intolerance, and especially look at these young mothers. She did not feel any compassion for this other child. I mean, a small fight or a scuffle between children is something very, very common. I mean, even if the child must have used some expletives or what, we don't know. But obviously he must have done something, or whether it's a boy or girl, I'm not very sure about that. But even then, a 5-year-old child, how much brain development would a 5-year-old child have? And look at the kind of mentality that this mother is having. Is it? I mean, her maternal instinct, her child is a child, and the other person's child is not a child. I think again it calls for very, very strict punishment, and I don't know whether it's a judicial system which is to be blamed, whether it is the society. There's a complete collapse of the social order in our country today, because I mean, can you imagine what is the kind of mind, what are we trying to convey?
Absolutely, this is yet another story of
no fellow feeling, no camaraderie, no feelings of let's just excuse the children. It was between children. Let's just finish it off then and there. And 5-year-olds, for God's sake, they're infants.
Absolutely.
They themselves don't know what they were talking about probably, and then the mothers got into get involved nowadays, because they're so paranoid, and there's I think because of so much of competition and always trying to do this one-upmanship, I think that is a very dangerous trend.
Right, Nilanjana, let's also go back to Saurav Sanyal, who's been reporting on this. Saurav, you said the police don't have currently any leads about either the lady who did this or her husband. Meanwhile, the child, of course, is under constant observation. He's got 8 stitches because she used a blade there as well. It seems like the mother had absolutely no fear of the law or any respect or any thought towards the consequences of what she was doing.
Well, absolutely right, because there's no denying the fact that, because otherwise how can you explain a lady to be coming into such, a fit of rage and, doing something so horrendous as this, so dastardly as this. Child a 5-year-old, chopping off someone's tongue. That is the last thing that could possibly come to someone's mind. But that is exactly what has happened. And this friendly fight between two children, this had such a bloody ending. It is in fact beyond any comprehension of any rational mind.
Right, absolutely. Saurabh, we'll have to leave it there. Yet another story of depravity coming in from this time from West Bengal. Thank you, Saurabh, for joining us.